That's why I put it together. Jada Bell really comes across as someone who hates men. Married to the man, been with the man for years, has had his children, but the lack of respect there is clear, it's obvious, and even Stevie Wonder could see it. We talked a few weeks ago, we believe Stevie can see a lot more than he's putting on, but even Stevie Wonder can see that Jada Bell is disrespectful and possibly hates men. So we're going to get rid of the stigma today. We're going to get rid of the lies, and we're going to talk about the emotional abuse tactics that women use in relationships. We talked on Thursday how women, you need to unpack your bags. That some of you are carrying around bags, emotional trauma, and before you can allow love to move in, you need to unpack those bags and get rid of that junk. So, kind of continuing in that, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, ladies, and say maybe you don't even realize some of the things that you do to men really fall under abuse. I'm being kind. Because I think if the roles were reversed, we would actually see it clear as day, see it a mile away. But a lot of times when it's us, we don't see it. Today, I'm being nice. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I may be more of a bitch by Wednesday or Thursday. But today, I'm being nice and kind. Okay. Emotional abuse tactics, the silent treatment. Ladies, when you don't get your way, many times you give this man the silent treatment or you withdraw your affection. That's abuse. He didn't take out the trash, so he ain't getting none. He didn't do what I asked him to do, so he ain't getting none. He has upset me, so I'm not speaking to him. I just watched a video earlier in preparing for this when LL's wife admitted on the Oprah Winfrey show that right after they got married, the video came out for his song Doing It, and she saw all that he was doing in the video, and she said she didn't speak to him for 2 weeks. Oprah didn't say one word. I never saw her come under fire for going 2 weeks without speaking to her husband. She knew exactly who she was marrying. He was already LL Cool J. Ladies love Cool James. It is James, isn't it? Anyway, but she knew who he was. But once the video came out, she decided she wasn't going to speak to her husband for 2 weeks. Ladies, if the shoes were on the other feet, you would have an issue with that. If the roles were reversed, you would have an issue with a man walking under the same roof as you, deciding he wasn't going to speak to you. He was going to give you the silent treatment, or he was going to withhold, let's say, since you ain't giving him any, let's say for 2 weeks, he decides, I'm not going to provide. I'm not going to protect. I'm not going to stand in my role as a husband because I'm going to use emotional manipulation to get this woman to do what I want her to do. You be calling your mama, your sister, your girlfriends, getting them on the line. You be calling the pastor. Anybody you could think of, because your husband has decided he's going to withhold from you for 2 weeks. That's emotional abuse. And women, you're lying if you act as if you don't know what I'm talking about. Many of you know exactly what I'm talking about, and you've actually done it over and over and over again. Another emotional abuse tactic, ladies, we are unpacking the bags because I told you you had bags, but we are unpacking them even more. Public humiliation, belittling. I put Will and Jada Bell on the thumbnail because we all have watched Will be publicly humiliated for years. Some of the times that Jada Bell has humiliated Will was when she was on is it Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, when she said she was addressing the rumors about them being swingers, and she actually said, "I wish." Lady, in front of all of these people watching, you actually said you wish y'all were swingers. So, how I hear it is, you wish you could sleep with another man. You wish you could bring another man or woman into the bedroom. Why would you sit here on national TV and say you wish you were swingers as if your husband isn't enough? That's public humiliation. Let's go on to talk about how in 2019 she was on Instagram and she was doing an IG live, and she was telling people about how much their counselor had helped them in marriage. And then she just turns the camera to Will. And Will says, I think you should ask my permission before you just put me on the camera. She began to belittle him because he actually had a boundary that she felt like she didn't need to respect. Public humiliation. When she talked publicly about the 40th birthday party he threw for her and saying that it was a great display of his ego and how much she hated it. Instead of just privately saying, I appreciate this, but let's, maybe not have any more of these big parties. It's not really my thing. She publicly ridiculed this man after he said he had been planning her 40th birthday party for 3 years, wanted to surprise her, and she publicly ridiculed him for it. And he said how low that made him feel. Ladies, you may not be as famous as Jada Bell, but think about any time you publicly humiliated your man or belittled and embarrassed him. That's emotional abuse. I can even remember when Gabrielle Union was on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and she made mention of the things Dwayne Wade likes in the bedroom, including some anal play. That's public humiliation. One of the other things, ladies, is constant criticism. You are just constantly criticizing this man, sometimes for the smallest things. I've seen women completely ridicule or criticize their man online for folding the towels incorrectly. Now, listen, I have a special way. I like the towels folded as well. I think there's only one way. If you're not doing it my way, you're doing it wrong. But do you know, if you fold them and don't fold them my way, I'm still grateful. I'm not going to make a mountain out of a molehill. Sometimes, lady, you are constantly criticizing these men for absolutely no real reason. Just constantly criticizing them.